Hello and welcome to a special election crossover. I am Peter Rapp, the host of Salle TV's Exploring Politics, bringing LTV news and a special election update. I'm here with MJ Griffin. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Madison Griffin. I am a senior economics major and also the president of Democracy Matters here on campus.
Thank you. Would you like to tell the audience a little more about your organization?
Absolutely. So Democracy Matters was first chartered on LaSalle's campus about a year ago by myself and a few other students. And we work to get students civically engaged. And what that looks like is getting people to work the polls, getting people out to vote, getting people to register to vote. It can mean a bunch of different things, and it can mean different things to everybody. We host events, specifically tabling events. We did an ice cream social, which was really fun if you came out. 10 out of 10, would recommend. And then on top of it, our big things are getting big money out of politics and making sure our elections are free and fair, one man, one vote.
That's a very important organization to have here on campus for students to get involved in politics, to learn how much their vote matters and how much they can do as an individual. You are also going to be working this upcoming election. Could you go into a little bit of detail about what you're going to do?
Absolutely. So I am the judge of elections for the 63rd Ward, 3rd Division up in Fox Chase. And do you know much about how elections are run behind the scenes?
Tell it to me like I'm in 4th grade.
It's all right. Nobody does. It's all good. It's very much a don't look at the man behind the curtain thing. Mm-hmm. So there's 5 people when you walk into a county election office. There is the minority inspector, the majority inspector, the clerk, the machine inspector, and then the judge of elections. That's me. How could I forget? The majority and the minority are the people who are signing you into the poll books. Mm-hmm. The clerk, if you ever see somebody scribbling notes on a writing pad, that's the clerk. The machine inspector is the guy who's going to help you get into the machines, put the ballot in, help you with all the buttons and stuff. The judge of elections is the person who sits in the corner and watches everything. And what that job entails is making sure everything runs smoothly. If there is a complaint, if there is a provisional ballot, if there is anything that needs to be signed, if there's anything that needs to be spoiled, canceled, you name it, anything that goes wrong, it's on me.
Wow, well that's a pretty important job then. Yeah. Come with a lot of stress, I imagine?
Oh yeah.
All right, well I mean, you don't do the job for nothing. You don't just take on all that stress for nothing. Yeah. You do it because also why you founded Democracy Matters. Voting is very important to the political process of our country and for the people in it. So could you tell the audience a little about your key reasons why voting is important and why they should be out tomorrow?
Where do I begin? My goodness. So voting is one of the most important things you can do for yourself and for your country. We are at a point in time where this election will probably be one of the most consequential for the next few decades, to be honest. And Pennsylvania is the deciding factor. Every president who has won an election in the most past recent elections has won Pennsylvania. It is a clear factor. On top of that, voting is incredibly important to make sure you get the change you want to see. If you don't vote, you can't make change. Mm-hmm. And on top of all of that, if you don't value your political engagement, you let go of something that is integral to being an American, in my opinion. Yeah. We are a group of people who fought for the right to vote, to have everybody have a say in our government. Mm-hmm. And I think it's incredibly important for people to get out and vote. November 5th, big day.
Yeah, be sure to get out and vote on November 5th. Now, there are a lot of different ways that people can mess up their ballot. Yes. Or have their vote be tossed away so it doesn't end up mattering. Either they fill out something incorrectly or they fail to register, which unfortunately the point to register has already passed. But are there any little tips or tricks as a judge of election fairness that you have to help people make sure they don't get their vote canceled out?
Absolutely. First and foremost, if you have a mail-in ballot and you do not want to send it in and you would like to go and vote in person, you need to bring that mail-in ballot with you. If not, you will be given a provisional ballot. A provisional ballot is a ballot. It still counts. It's more like it just gets counted last to verify that you haven't already voted by mail. So if you vote by mail and don't want to do that anymore and want to vote on the machines, you have to bring your provisional ballot with you. If you choose to vote by mail, make sure that you put the ballot itself in the double secrecy envelope. So there's going to be 2 envelopes that you get. Mm-hmm. One is inside of the other. you need to make sure that you mark and seal both envelopes or that ballot will not count. If you are in the actual polling place itself and you need to spoil a ballot, make sure you do not cast it. It's very easy to mess those things up. So get the machine inspector, ask them for help. The judge will spoil the ballot and we will print you a new one so you can vote on the machines again. If you have to vote provisionally, you will be given a tracking number so you can track your ballot. It's very important to realize provisional ballots are still ballots. This is something I hear a lot, is that they don't count this, that, the third. Provisional ballots are incredibly important. If you get one, you are still voting. So make sure you mark everything correctly. If it says date of birth, put your date of birth. If it says anything like judge of election signature, don't sign it. That's my job. So on and so forth. So those are the things I would say you have to be careful of.
Got it. And now, are there, this upcoming election is going to be very contested. There is a lot of anxiety going into this from all sides, a lot of threats coming from different groups to the safety of people going to vote. And I think that it's very important that you don't let people intimidate you out of voting.
Yes.
But with that, having respect for that, it's also important to keep track of your safety and make sure that you are being safe when you are going to vote. Do you have any tips or tricks to try to keep yourself safe while going to vote?
So for the regular voter, something that should be noted is you cannot bring any weapons inside of a polling place whatsoever. You can't bring, even though it might be personal protection, even though there are rights and rules around that, you cannot bring a weapon into a polling place.
Of course, yeah.
I can speak on behalf of election workers. A lot of us are very afraid for our safety.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that has come up in conversation with myself and the people I work with. But as a voter, my biggest thing would be maintain your privacy. You do not ever have to tell anybody who you voted for. That is between you and the ballot. You never have to reveal who you voted for. You can't check who somebody voted for. Voting records are public information.
Yeah.
You can see when somebody voted. You can see what party they are. You can see which elections they've skipped, which elections they haven't. You can never find out what somebody voted for. So keeping your privacy to yourself, I think, would be one way to protect yourself during this election. So.
All right, well, yeah, thank you. I think that we have, well covered the importance of going out to vote this election, how you can do it, and most importantly, how you can do it safely with respect to your safety and your family and your whole community.
Yeah.
So everyone out there, please be sure to get out there and vote on November 5th. Thank you for having us on LTV News. Back to the hosts.